Good day, everyone. My name is Adam Livingston, and I am the Chicken Gizzard Lizard Bitcoin Wizard. Ladies and gentlemen, grab your expired ramen, park your 1998 Pontiac Sunfire on the front lawn, and let me paint you a portrait of modern American prosperity. I want you to picture me horizontal on a crust-stiffened queen mattress that came with the double-wide trailer, springs poking me like collection calls from Capital One. The window AC wheezes like a last-generation Roomba leaking Freon straight into the cat's litter box. I've got Taco Bell fire sauce packets for pillows and a ceiling fan so caked in dust it looks like a Civil War relic. Yet somehow I'm using the pull string to excavate my belly button while swiping right on every carbon-based life form within 50 miles on Tinder. Yes, even the profile with the Snapchat dog ears and the bio that reads CNA, entrepreneur, crypto hater, 2 toddlers, 3 baby daddies, looking for vibes. On my floor are half-empty cans of store-brand sparkling water, a Walmart rotisserie chicken skeleton, and the shredded remnants of last month's rent reminder that I shoved into a Hot Pockets box so the landlord's handwritten final notice would feel less personal. Behind me, Mom's old TV streams another episode of Maury while the baby monitor across the room crackles because the neighbor's Wi-Fi just bumped my hotspot off again. Thanks a lot, Gary. Enjoy that $200 Comcast bill you can't pay without selling a kidney on Craigslist. My paycheck just hit on Friday, instantly split 4 ways. My Boost Mobile auto pay, my Klarna interest on my $6,500 therapeutic hot tub that's still on backorder, a Netflix subscription upgraded solely so I can watch Love is Blind Fiji Mouth Breather edition in HD, and the remaining $27.34 that evaporated when Archer Farms increased the price of their organic faux egg breakfast burritos. Meanwhile, the consumer price index is creeping up higher than my cousin Trent's DUIs, and every menu board at Taco Bell now reads like a Fibonacci sequence of regret. 2 Chalupa Supremes and a Crunchwrap the size of a tire, and suddenly a family value meal costs $48 plus the dignity surcharge of eating in the parking lot because the dining room turned into a DoorDash staging area. So I want you all to yank up a stained bar stool, fellow broconomists. Tonight we dive headfirst into the sewage lagoon of fiat finance, light it on fire with a spark borrowed from Satoshi, and roast a few marshmallows made of student loan forbearance papers. Because if you think universal basic income is the answer, wait until you taste universal basic truth. The money is counterfeit, the time theft is biblical, and your 401k just got turned into confetti for Jerome Powell's next ticker tape parade. All right, victims of payroll waterboarding, let's run the numbers that keep you all sweating on your crust-caked mattress. The median weekly wage, $1,196, which means my banking app flashes that really quickly, and then Walmart Pay, Boost Mobile, and 3 forgotten Patreon pledges slurp it down like seagulls fighting over a French fry. Usually leaves me enough cash for half a tank of unleaded and a sympathy grape. And then the rent barges in wearing brass knuckles. The median renter forks over 23.4% of income just to keep the roof stapled on, while 5 major metros crash through the 30% danger line, which explains why my neighbor's kitchen is now an eBay packing station. So swipe your credit card again. America is babysitting $1.21 trillion in credit card debt, 12 zeros of binge purchases, midnight DoorDash, and interest rates that would make a payday lender blush. I myself am on month 9 of paying $29 of monthly interest to keep last year's Black Friday air fryer from repossession. The pantry is also empty, so Uncle Sam hands over the plastic. 42 million of us, 1 in 8 shoppers, swipe an EBT card every single month, pretending generic Cocoa Puffs taste the same while the cashier pretends to not judge. Top it off with a national price level 25.5% higher than in April 2019. In a sane timeline, 5 years should cost 10%, not a quarter of every grocery run. Each trip to Aldi feels like a hostage negotiation with shrinkflated tortilla chips. And my paycheck has the purchasing power of a crumpled receipt for GameStop trade-in credit. So when I say that America's money vanishes by Monday, I'm not exaggerating. So I want you to behold the highlight reel of late-stage fiat absurdity. Number one, we have some serious bubble bath economics happening. A silver-haired empty nester strolls into a big box spa showroom, slaps a fingerprint on a buy now, pay never tablet, and strolls out owing 72 easy payments on a $6,500 therapeutic hot tub that will double as a mosquito hatchery by Halloween. Have you seen this trend of millennials living in storage sheds on TikTok? Across town, a bearded graphic designer signs a 12-month lease on a renovated backyard tool shed. 144 square feet of plywood minimalism, plus a $400 pet amenity fee so his rescue corgi can stare existentially at drywall. Family dinner now means flooring the accelerator toward Taco Bell, where a value meal now costs $48 for 3 people. And that's not even including your Baja Blasts either. And now have you also noticed that downtown in every major city in this country, we now have drone lanes for Uber Eats drivers? The apartment lights just stay off while the gig cyclists in their bubblegum helmets ferry pad thai to occupants who haven't located the stove knob since the Obama administration. The entire zip code of your city is basically SimCity on delivery-only mode. And every swipe of the credit card is a 25% APR firework, tiny explosions of compound interest nobody notices until the statement arrives looking like a ransom note from Visa. We're living in a shrinkflation magic show. The grocery aisles are now featuring Doritos bags stuffed with more nitrogen than chips, and family-sized cereal boxes containing exactly 7 servings if the family in question is 2 borrowers and a hamster. We are not living in dystopian fiction, folks. This is a live-action sitcom where the laugh track is replaced by the sound of purchasing power circling the drain. Welcome to Clown World. Please keep arms, legs, and disposable income inside the ride at all times. Now it's time to talk about fiat money theft mechanics. Number 1, inflation is the compulsory subscription upgrade. Prices are auto-renewing every night at 2 a.m., no opt-out button, turning grocery runs into speed dating with sticker shock. There's also the tax bracket creep, the stealth tax escalator that we're all victims to. Every cost of living raise that you get are shoving workers into the next IRS tier before the HR email finishes loading, converting your merit into higher withholding by breakfast. And let's be real, you have a negative real yield on all of your investments and your savings. A 0.5% bank interest rate meets 4% CPI. The purchasing power of your dollar melts faster than a popsicle in August. Freshly printed dollars sprints through Wall Street's espresso bars first, buying beachfront condos before the wage earners of this country even notice that their milk costs more. Also, remember fractional reserve banking? Banks will clone the same dollar 10 times like a frat party red Solo cup, then charge overdraft fees when the illusion glitches. There's also a quantitative easing infinity balloon animal. The Federal Reserve balance sheet now rivals Walmart's entire snack aisle in cubic footage. Yet the average checking account can't cover a surprise brake job. You just have to look at the time theft math of your labor. 27 years of sweat equity reduced to 15 after the stealth tax discount, leaving retirement planners to sell hope in convenience 5-gallon buckets. The fiat system that you're living in does not just take a slice of your labor and your value, it eats the crust, it pockets the tip, and it invoices you for the crumbs. So, ladies and gentlemen, what is the solution to this absolute hellscape that we live in? Behold the one asset that doesn't hemorrhage value faster than a dollar store inflatable pool. That is Bitcoin, fixed supply, 21 million seats with no standing room. Imagine musical chairs when nobody can sneak in a folding chair from Costco. There will never be chair 21,000,001. Jerome Powell can't crash the party with an an extra pallet of liquidity. There is a predictable issuance of Bitcoin called the halving cycle diet plan. This is built-in corporate downsizing to the money supply. Every 4 years, the issuance rate of Bitcoin gets cut in half like middle management after a bad earnings call. 2024's halving dropped inflation below 1%. Try getting your savings account to do that without a hostage situation. And remember, this is money that nobody can mess with because you keep it in self-custody. Your keys, your kingdom, folks. Grandma hides her seed phrase in a peanut butter jar. Hackers cry in their NFTs. No banker, no broker, or board regulator can freeze a 12-word incantation under your mattress. This money also puts your time preference into rehab. The sats that you buy feel like dumbbells. They're heavy enough to discourage your impulse Taco Bell runs, but they're light enough to compound quietly in a hardware wallet. Suddenly, the YOLOs become the HODLs, and the hot tub salesman ghosts your calls. This is deflationary currency. If you hold it for one halving cycle, you watch your grocery prices drop in relative terms. The rice looks cheaper, the rent looks negotiable, the landlord looks nervous, and it actually looks like you may be able to buy a home one day to start a family. There's no velvet rope for insider cronies. The first mover advantage fades as the supply hard caps. Miners earn coins the honest way by incinerating kilowatts like caffeinated beavers, not by schmoozing at lunch with Hillary Clinton. There's also no possible way to cut the inheritance you can pass your sats to the grandkids without probate vampires nibbling percentages. Imagine a trust fund with no Wall Street middleman, just a ledger carved into cyberspace granite. Now listen here, folks, a lot of you people forget this, but Bitcoin isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a stay-rich-slow protocol. While Fiat prints participation trophies for poverty, Bitcoin hands you financial Kevlar, and it whispers into your ear, try missing me with that stealth tax, champ. Let's look at Fiat decay versus sat stacking, the cage match of the century. In the red corner, weighing 40 trillion freshly printed dollars, the heavyweight champion of hidden taxes, the Fiat Fatberg. And in the blue corner, capped at 21 million units, undefeated in 16 years of price discovery, the Bitcoin Bone Crusher. Let's have a look at the tail of the tape. The 5-year supply growth, fiat dollar 25%. Bitcoin 0% with the schedule of issuance totally visible. Your real yield on savings, a minus 3% on average, the financial equivalent of leaving your ice cream on the radiator. Bitcoin, nothing too crazy, just compounding at 58% a year over the last decade, no big deal. Let's talk about the retail adoption trend in 2025. It's flatlining for fiat. I think bank branches are now selling lottery tickets to stay open. Right now, there is rocket fuel in India, Nigeria, and the US. Wherever you go, Bitcoin's catching on. And remember, when we talk about the time value transfer of the currency with fiat, there is an upward siphon to leveraged asset owners. In Bitcoin, it's peer-to-peer horizontal flow. No velvet rope, Cantillon lounge. You just gotta talk about the supply bloat versus the supply diet between these two currencies. Fiat money gains weight like it's a county fair butter sculpture in July. Bitcoin runs intermittent fasting, one halving every 4 years with 0 cheat days. A fiat savings account earns 0.5% while shadow inflation ruins your family's financial lineage, which is like pouring a gallon of gas into a sieve and congratulating yourself on storage. When you're talking about the adoption momentum that both of these have, okay, fiat users base is captive citizens who need to pay parking tickets. Bitcoin's base is totally voluntary opt-in zealots wiring value faster than grandma can forward her conspiracy meme. In fiat land, hours of your labor float upward to yacht dealers. In Bitcoin land, value teleports sideways. No middleman, no shrinkflation toll booth. So, when the bell rings here, folks, fiat is bleeding purchasing power onto the canvas while Bitcoin is still shadowboxing halving charts. Place Place your bets accordingly, but remember, in this arena, the Fed fights for the Fatberg, and the only fair judge is arithmetic. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to picture the spiritual low point of late-stage fiat existence. You, sweating in the captain's chair of a dent-cracked 95 Ford Windstar. The windows are fogged by regret and the stale perfume of a gas station cappuccino. You tip back a family-sized box of Mike Ikes. The rainbow pellets clattering down your gullet like loose change in a Coinstar machine. While the AM radio preaches doom about rate hikes and transitory inflation that's lingered longer than your cousin's probation ankle bracelet. This is rock bottom, the flavor of high fructose nihilism. Now I want you to freeze that sticky-fingered tableau and ask, why does the clown world carnival own me? Because the money is counterfeit, the ledger is rigged, and every swipe of your debit card siphons time straight into a trust fund named Chairman's Yacht. Bitcoin is your exit row from poverty. No paperwork, no velvet rope, no central banker waving a magic wand of dilution. Just scarcity hardwired into math like a cosmic vending machine that never runs out of exact change. Swap the sugar crash for stacking sats and watch the universe reverse its suction. Suddenly, your 95 Ford Windstar is paid in full, the Mike Ikes taste like victory rations, and the Fed's money printer sounds distant like the dying whine of a leaf blower in February. This is your cosmic punchline. They'll promise universal basic income for this hellhole, but what we need is universal basic truth. The money is fake, the time theft is real, and Bitcoin is the first honest wage you will ever earn twice. So wipe the candy dust from your beard, torch the clown coupons, and step into the only ledger that doesn't laugh at your paycheck. This show is over when you say opt out. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Adam Livingston and I am the Bitcoin Wizard. I need you to share this with your poverty-stricken family. This is the only way out for them. Do not disappoint me. Like this video and subscribe to the channel in order to spread the orange gospel to the masses. Your hellish life is optional. Trust me. Have a terrific day. Class dismissed.